Hello and good evening. Before we begin, I would like to give a huge shout out to my active patron members: Elliot, Jade Lunaire, Spammer, Chip144, Juniper Turn, Cloaked Pelt 29, Aelin, Arantash, Kiyumi, KitKat 0406, Gwendolyn Adams Bone, Azura Akamor, Canuck, Emma, Knock on Wood, Nobody at All, Agatha, Ragecat 888, Amy Wires, The Octahat, Evelyn Puppy, Dsib, Roseboud, Nunberg, Fish Salad, Antari Akiyama, Sarha Smith, Valkyr Tenna, Rylanor, the fan of a truly iconic Foxo, Galahad, Salgor Agaris, Marisa Kasidasame, Benifer the Potato, Genetic Zero, CT Mackin, Songbird, Kyra, Void Dweller, Teeth for 5, Morning Owlet, Chrysalis, Elster Shiny Things, Tarses, Jessica, Amy Olgers, Tiny Portal, Chloe, Bear the Space Witch, Ellipses, CM Fireflies, Some Guy, Ghost 48, Joanna, Indigo, Aelin, Kai, Danny Babani, TGS TGA, Breedable Vaporeon, Eden, Mick Shepherd, Captain Aardvark 986, Lily Adams, Hazel, Archibald, Bluegoo, Alice, Kolak 92, Prophecy Fulfilled, DFA Plays, Robot Waifu, and Bloodmoth. Thank you. Thank you so very much for all of your support. It truly means the universe to me. If you too wish to become an active patron member, please click the link in the description down below to visit my Patreon page. Thank you so very much. And now, without further ado, hi, I'm back. Hello again. So I'm just gonna get everything set up here in the background. How's your day been so far? Hello, Emma. Hi, it's very good to see you. Alrighty, so the game is live. There we go. Excellent. Hey Spyro. Hey Nyx. Hey Emma. Hey Aether. Hey Ray. Ray says, I have one class on Monday and Wednesday in the afternoon and 3 classes Tuesday and Thursday that start from 9 in the morning and end in the evening. I see. Emma says, having a real nice day. My favorite VTuber uploaded another amazing video today. Awesome sauce. Who was it? I shall have to check it out later. I'm doing the best I can, Time Marshal. Spar says, also, Heck Divers had the new Voidborn drop. Commando missions are stressful, but goodness are they cool. Emma says, it was you, silly. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. So, I have a big challenge, like a big milestone. I don't know if we're going to be able to hit it for the game tonight, but I'm going to try to go for as long as I can and see if we can at least approach the goal. I want to get the characters to level 35 tonight. Ray says, meanwhile, Fox is on a whole other grind here with Final Fantasy. Yep. It is the long road. It is the road to level 99. And it is going to take a while. Next says, for me, it's 3 studio classes every Monday and Wednesday, and 1 Tuesday and Thursday. I see. Ty Marshall says, well, Fable's coming to PS5. Nice. I've never played Fable. I've heard it's good. Ray says, the mage audio, definitely something I'll have to check out later tonight. The opposite of mine, lol. Nick says, all studio classes are 2 hours, so it's a lot of sitting on uncomfortable stools. I am so sorry. Sparrow says, didn't you start this on stream once on a whim? I distinctly remember you starting once on a chatting stream. Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's what I decided to do. And thus I've been doing this ever since. I've only ever been doing it on stream. Although if I want to get serious about it, I assume that I'm probably going to have to do some grinding off-stream. I don't feel like doing that, though. I kind of want to do this with everyone on the same page. I want you to feel the sense of accomplishment that I feel. Emma says, Fable's good, and I like the transformation mechanics, but also I feel like their portrayal of good and evil leaves something to desire. Leaves something to be desired. I think that's the phrase. Ray says, the real level 99 was the friends we made along the way. Indeed. It is the swole Cloud and Barret that leaves the reactor. Emma says, like, you can kill everyone in Albion to buy their houses, then donate 10 million gold to the temple and get a halo. Yeah, that system definitely leaves a lot to be desired. Also, at level 30, I think Barret has more MP than Cloud. Aether says, I have music lessons, which is using things like logic instead of learning an instrument. But the fun thing for me is I've already done all the work I needed to do until my assessment. I don't know when, though. I see. So much to learn, so much to do. Fizz says, I started another script instead of finishing one from the work in progress pile. Haha, I'm so bad. I've been there. It is quite the thing. Ray says, oh, I was a music major my first year before I changed into an art major. I know that noise. And Aether says, I have to spend 6 hours in college roughly doing basically nothing. Yay. Fizz says, heck yeah, art. So, what are your thoughts on The Dark Mage if you've watched it? If you haven't, that's completely understandable. Also, the sequel is already recorded, and I'm probably going to be editing it tomorrow. And depending on when I get it done, I'll probably have the sequel out within the next 48 hours. Ray says, oh, we are feasting this weekend. Well, I hope that you enjoy the adventures of Dot. All good, John. Ray says, that reminds me of how I jokingly said once that I have such a writer's brain / just that if I don't write one long paragraph every single day, then I will get hives. I don't think it's a joke anymore. Hives are no joke. Back before I left Cali, I had actually scared myself into hives. And it led me to believe that I had contracted fleas or scabies. And so I was incredibly terrified. That made the hives worse. Thank you so very much, Nix. Yeah, stress can definitely do that to someone, and it wasn't fun for me, because back living in Cali, I was just naturally incredibly, like, paranoid and stuff. Paranoid, restless, and I basically just doused myself in insect poison, which definitely did not do any wonders for myself, my mental health, or physical health. That was about 3-ish years ago by this point, though, so I'm mostly okay now. Ray says, oh, I'm sorry that happened. I can't imagine that was easy to get through. It was interesting, to say the very least. Nick says, I'm currently between listening to the comic I have to make a presentation on Monday or listening to your stream. So far, stream is winning by a long shot. Thanks, Ray. Much appreciated. Yeah, speaking about just before things went radio silent and they cut off all contact, my blood siblings made it like a big mention that my room smelled of peppermint. Like it just absolutely was cloying in that room. It's one of my bigger regrets, is just leaving that to deal with. The moral of this story is don't sleep in insect poison. It just doesn't... It isn't good for you. Aether says, I need to head off as I need sleep. I have to wake up in about 5 hours, so night-night. Rest well, Aether. Ray says, oh god, I remember me and my blood family dousing ourselves in peppermint when we got bedbugs from the movers. Oh god. Even I have never had to deal with bedbugs, even though I was terrified. Those bastards have been with us since the dawn of our species, and they aren't like to go anywhere anytime soon. Since I am going to be doing a little bit of traveling over the course of, well, the next... It's going to be next month, and the traveling is probably going to take a day at best. Maybe even a little bit longer than a day. But rest assured, I'm definitely going to be keeping a sharp eye for any wandering insects. Hey Mary, good to see you. Nam flashbacks. Ray says, I guess you could say if luck is on your side, nothing will bug you on your journey. Yeah, honest to goodness, I don't know what I'd do if I managed to pick one or a million of them up. I, honest to goodness, don't know what I'd do, and I think that my mental health will just not survive. Does that make me fragile? I think it does. Ray says, we're all fragile in different ways, that's normal. Emma says, no, bedbug infestations are pretty maddening. Ray says, thunderstorms still freak me the hell out, honestly. Nope, would be a valid crash out. Emma says, and then the way people around you turn on you when they find out. Yeah, that's gotta be the worst. They treat you as if you're carrying the plague. I am really, really lucky. I've never had to deal with bedbugs in my entire existence, and I don't want to start to now. Swim says, I think scabies might be worse than bedbugs in my opinion. Ray says, thankfully when it hit us, it was during summer vacation, so when I got to school we were cleared of them. Emma says, used to live in a shelter a couple years back, and like, whoever pointed out the bedbugs first, each time the infestation came back, became basically Satan in everyone's eyes. Oof. Yes. Safe to say, I will be practicing a lot of social distancing as much as physically possible. Emma says, anyway, throw away a lot of things and put all my clothes in trash bags for 6 months at a time, then dried everything multiple times at max heat. And haven't seen a one since, but yeah. If there is an insect that I would immediately, like, remove from existence at the drop of a hat, no questions asked, it would be bedbugs. Simply because, from all of the horror stories that I've heard, and the fact that I have a keen desire to never experience them, I want them to be a concept removed from reality. How's my day? I think my day was incredibly fun. I got to do some work and I managed to upload. Swim says, for me it's mosquitoes. I know they're good for birds or whatever, but like, sorry little bros, you gotta go. Ray says, use the mage powers to get rid of all of the bad bugs, but not the bees. Well, here's the thing. For a lot of insects, I can make excuses for them. Especially for, like, wasps and bees. Because, yeah, wasps can be a little bit nasty, but they are pollinators, and I want to leave pollinators alone. And there are a lot of, like, beetles and roaches that I think are incredibly necessary, despite the fact that I am literally terrified of them. The same with spiders. I think they're really, really necessary for the ecosystem. It is a little bit of a fragile thing. Pull out a piece of the puzzle, and the consequences could be incredibly dire. Emma says, I am legit traumatized by those things, I think. Still panic anytime I, like, get a crumb in my bed or something, and I have to search the whole thing for signs even now, years later. Yeah, that's something that just doesn't leave you, I fear. Even though I've never been, like, invested myself, sometimes I just get extremely scared. And so I scare myself into hives. Emma says, oh yeah, spiders and bees and wasps I'm fine with. I let the spiders be, and the bees and wasps I carefully escort outside. But bedbugs die, with fire if need be. Yeah. And again, like I say, I'm scared of a good majority of spiders and roaches. I don't like being in close quarters with them. I have been bitten by them. And when I still lived in Cali, that house was, once upon a time, infested. It's just one of the reasons I hated living there. And didn't make it a secret that I hated living there. Like, you had to be really careful going outside, because on that half-an-acre plot of land, all of the creepies and crawlies would just emerge in the night. All of them. Ray says, honestly, I've gotten rid of so many pests like that. When I see one, it's on sight. Ray says, I'm God's strongest soldier if it's on behalf of easing the fears of my friends. Yeah, you get some sort of strength and courage bonus for helping out your friends. I don't know what that bonus is, but it's very rarely activated for me. Typically, I'm the one cowering. Fizz says, it's okay, I have the magic penicillin stabby stick, lol. Ray says, I am the friend who's like, excuse me, they asked for no pickles. But I like pickles, actually. I love pickles. Pickles are just, they're so tasty. Ray says, well, I know who to give mine to now. Ray says the mention of wolves did remind me of that one time in high school when a coyote came, but I was absent and heard about it secondhand from my pals. Emma says Foxo can have the pickles, I think. I'll take the brine left over. The juice. Juice is good. Can get a little bit too briny even for me. But pickles? Pickles. Pickles go well with so much. Fizz says, anyone else playing Fallout 76? I've never played Fallout 76 and I don't really care to. Emma says summons chance found ghost. Ray says, does anyone know what that was about? Emma says, I play 76 sometimes. Yeah, I like build house. Nice, Nix. Careful, you're gonna summon me. Ooh. Bad news. Ah! They got me. Ugh. I'm a ghost. Nice, Nix. Well done. Ray says I just looked into finish the Archon quest and haven't touched it since. Stayed up till 3 a.m. 3 nights in a row. Oof. That's gotta do a number on your sleep schedule. Yeah, I remember locking in when I really wanted to unlock Inefa. And then after I got Inefa and her weapon, I just lost all motivation. What's his sleep schedule? Said in the same sort of tone that Saris Victoria would say, "What's a blood rage? Then why can't I remember anything?" Mr. Bernadotte, it was just an illusion, like push-up bras or stilettos. Ray says, "Listen, I've pulled all-nighters going to 6 to 7 a.m. to watch through games I like. Sleep schedule is an optional toggle." Fizz says, "We need to make stickers, lol." Mon Dieu, I've become predictable. Welcome home. How are you doing? You got a stick? You got a stick? I got cards. Very nice. Say hi to chat. And now Akira's just waving her sticks at me. Birdemic moments, says Ray. They say hi. I am fortunate that you cannot see the chat right now. Wonder what I should eat. Nick says Nico boop the Akira then. Hey, big sister, can you come over here real quick? That tickles. Careful. Don't wanna hurt yourself.
I'm good at that.
Ray says, just like a squeaky dog toy. Am I really? Do I really sound like a dog toy, though? Ray says, maybe my hearing's acting up. Oh. I'm so sorry, Fizz. Ray says, turning geriatric when I'm 23. Hey, I'm gonna be 26 this year. I've got 3 years on you. And I already have, like, a little bit of tinnitus in my ears. My fault mostly, because I like listening to music loud, because I like how it feels. I know it's not healthy for me. Congratulations, Nyx. Nyx says my knees are like Rice Krispie cereal. Knees. Ray says, it's like, that's the volume I control, and when I find a song I love, I need to blast it hard enough to rock my heart and soul. A lot of my philosophy for enjoying life is simply go out and, so long as you aren't hurting anyone, do what you please. Ray says, gods, it's so bad when I have to bend to the floor to find stuff that scurries under my bed. Anytime there's like food or cans that I have to like rearrange or sort that's on like the bottom shelf of some such, really hurts. Ray says, do what you want forever and live with whimsy in your heart and love without fear. I'm sorry, Fizz. That always sucks. And sometimes my YouTube craps out on me. All good, Emma. Boop. Still incredibly cute. Pedal. No, pedal. Ray says, it's happening on the 4th for me. I'm not ready. How am I already getting sleepy? Well, I have done a fair bit today. Ray says getting dark outside earlier, plus doing a lot, yes. Ray says circadian rhythm gets funky this time of year. Yep, the circadian rhythm is down to get funky. Hannah says, what's a circadian rhythm? Basically the cycle of you're going to sleep and waking up. Nick says currently hunting down the last Lunaculi I need for Columbina statue. Emma says it's like something to do with cicadas, I think. Hannah says, it depends on when I take my progesterone. 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 Hey, progesterone takers. Yeah, it says, I wouldn't say yum for the form I take it. I take mine in pill form. Because I'm a huge coward when it comes to needles. Now I want pepperoni. Hannah says, oh, absolutely same, terrified of medicinal needles. Hannah says, still scared of piercing/tattoo needles, but at least there's a pretty thing I get as the end result. Ray says, delivery pepperoni, delivery giorno. Same here, Ray, just expensive. This EP is not fair. Now I just want to just curl up and snooze. Emma says, needly thing description ing. Content warning needle thing. Emma says, though I don't get so scared of tattoo ones cause they're only in there for like a fraction of a second and then don't go so deep. Nick says, I was just chased by an evil and intimidating horse. Did it belong to lesbians? Emma says, a content warning concludes is safe now if you don't look up. I'm thinking about redoing Cursed Girlfriend. What do you think? After I'm finished with, like, all of the stuff in the backlog, the Yandere General series, Welcome Home 2, Dark Mage 2. Hannah says that Ray, same. I am being taunted by the fact that I'm both living next to a tattoo studio and also no money to get any. Such is life. Something smells good. I think I'm just going to get Cloud and Barret up to level 31 and then I might retire for the night. I feel sleepy. Hannah says, although, if anyone wants one for cheaper than advertised, now's the time because the economy sucks. Artists are likely to do work for a discount just to have bookings at all. That just feels kind of shitty. I don't want to take advantage of someone because of economic situations. I think I would just prefer to pay full price for an artistic work. Like, absolutely, take absolutely as much advantage as you can of, like, everything else. Like, the, billion-dollar corporations. Take advantage of them. Hannah says, maybe, but at the same time, if they aren't getting any bookings at all, then they don't get to eat. Man, my sleepiness is also being, like, supplemented with emotional exhaustion. I hate capitalism. Capitalism sucks. I will, don't worry. Just need to get these two at least one level higher. Tattoo artists might work in a shop, but they're all self-employed, and the only hourly they get paid is from having clients getting tattooed. Also make sure to tip them. Yes, yes, tip the artists. Tip, 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 tip. I'd say also tip your delivery drivers, but I don't honestly think that we should be doing delivery like from Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything, because those companies are already incredibly scummy and don't pay their workers. If you can, go get the food in person, because the convenience of it all is a trap. Tips can come in both monetary forms or beer and food. And if I was able to, lodging. Can you imagine if I had like a big ol' mansion and could just offer lodging to anyone? I'd love that. Give me a mansion to house all my friends, good sir. Please? Ray says I have automatic tip on. Had to get an Uber tonight because our family of fours only got one car. Ray says, God, same big ol' mansion with the buddies. They're predatory, but at the same time, nobody's doing DoorDash just for kicks. I'm having to tag team with my wife because without it, we're barely covering rent, utilities, and bare minimum food. Yeah. It's dystopic as fuck. We're not gonna make it, are we? Where he says, my friends and I used to look for big ol' houses for if we ever get to meet up and live together someday. This says, I think I fixed it, I think. Mary says, I'd love to finally get my own place with roommates someday. Maybe after I get this degree. Pain. Hannah says, plus with food delivery apps, it opens up a lot more options for food to disabled folk. I know a few of my friends who'd either be eating only Chinese food or even nothing without it. Because, yeah. If it was handled better, if they actually paid their fucking workers. Ray says more walkable plus accessible cities would definitely help, yeah. But no, everything has to be built for the usage of automobiles. That's why we've got so much land covered by roads instead of walkable cities. My heart hurts. So good, Emma. And I like motorcycles a little bit better, but that's mostly because that's my particular taste. I want to be a baddie on a bike. Work phone and kitchen, lol. Emma says also the fact that the industry is so resistant to making them more environmentally friendly. Hannah says, you know about squid tips? Buddy of mine. Serve for us folks who can help you with resources to get an endorsement and start writing. Holy crap, you know squid tips? Been watching his content for a long time. I would be honored to join the server. Link should be in his video descriptions. Alrighty then. After the stream's over, I'll go check it out and join the server. Pop in and say hi. Ray says, actually, out of curiosity, does this group have a Discord or no? Oh, are you talking about my channel? This channel? There is a server, however, it is 18 plus only, and requires ID verification. It used to be open to the public, but I had to make it 18 plus. But yeah, if you're on the Squid Tip server and you see a Cutiefox join, then that's most likely me. The icon's pretty much the same as the one that I use on YouTube, so... Bryce says, oh, I have no idea who Squid Tips is. Ooh. Squid Tips is a biker YouTuber. Very much an ally of the community. They've actually had guns, like, pulled on him. Emma says, but yeah, I personally have a lot of pleasant memories of riding in cars growing up. Dad moved around a lot. Mostly it's the sound/sight of rain on the roof and windshield. Emma says, oh, what webtoon? Oh. Oh, I see. Also, Squid Tips is incredibly politically active and motivated, which is something that I've been desperately trying to do myself, is be very much politically educated on the current goings-on and proper practices, etc. There's still so much that I get wrong, but with luck I can further educate myself and see if I can be a better community leader. Doesn't mean I can't learn, Emma. Doesn't mean I can't learn. Indeed, Ray. Indeed. Practice makes progress, as they say. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Simon. It's good to see you. Ray says, finding joy in the simple stuff like watching a cute fox working hard to get strong. One does what one can. Ray says, then you do very well at it. Keep up the good work. Thank you so very much. Hannah says, sorry I had to go grab water. All good. Hannah says, also, yeah, I'm hoping by the end of the year I'm back on a motorcycle again. I had to leave my previous one behind when moving away from home for safety and just never had enough to ship it out here. I'm sorry to hear it, Hannah. It's gotta suck. Emma says, I haven't ridden a motorcycle before, but I like to try someday, maybe. Of my family, I think only my grandfather has ridden one, although I'm not entirely certain. There could have been others in my family to do so. Ray says, hold on to a beautiful woman while you ride her motorbike together. A la Jenny from Studio Killers. The dream. Hey, Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. Never been to Illinois. So far, I have visited 3 states. I lived in California for most of my life. I visited Missouri. I've been to Lexington. And I currently live in Arizona. Summer is killer here. You have been booped.
Boop. And you're mean petted. Good girl, best girl.
Ray says, oh, my family used to visit Arizona sometimes. I haven't been myself, though. Only visited Cali once a couple years back. Back, even. Back. A couple years back.
Yeah.
Hannah says, I used to be in one of the other 4 corner states. Ray says, suddenly German. Wasn't even me trying to be German. Oh my god. Hannah says, miss it, to be honest. There's a lot more to do there than up here. Ray says, no, little German fox, don't go into the weed reactor the weed reactor cave. Oh my god. There is cannabis here. Believe it or not, Hannah, right? Ik spreek een beetje Nederlands. Ray says, oh my god, er is blunt in smoken. I speak a little bit of Dutch. Just a little bit. I only ever learned so much, and my studies have deteriorated for years by this point. I used to know enough to be a little bit conversational in it. I still have a couple of phrases that I know. Especially phrases like Ik hou van jou, which is basically I love you. Ray says, I used to sing in German back when I was a choir kid / music major. Hannah says, I've tried to learn languages before, but I'm gonna be honest, I can't even speak English that well to begin with. I can't even call it my first language, lol. Well, if the late great Robin Williams has taught me anything, is that alcohol makes English your second goddamn language and makes drunkenese your first. Could be a award-winning nuclear physicist down 6 to 7 Heineken's is just nope. Emma says, Ik spreek een beetje Nederlands. never leaves the shots, yeah. Ray says, I know, well, besides English, obviously, I know bits of Assyrian, Spanish, French from high school classes, and Japanese. Lots of anime, Vocaloid, and radio shows. I know tiny pieces. I just know tiny, tiny pieces. Very rarely do I go into wanting to, like, speak stuff aloud, even if I am 99% sure that it's accurate. Because I don't want to make a fool of myself, I just picture someone fluent in the language standing behind me with a rolled up newspaper ready to smack me upside the head. It's like, you got this wrong! You got this wrong! How dare you butcher my beautiful language? And I'd be like, I'm sorry! Ray says, hey, in your own words, you're trying your best. Emma says, 日本語の、ちょっとRay says, Kitsune-san wa totemo sugoi? I understood piecemeal of that, but... Ray says it means Fox-chan is super amazing, lol. And I'm pretty sure that I butchered it. Ray says, very much a beginner as you can tell. And Emma says, hi, Kitsune-chan wa sugoi. I definitely need to be studying something. I've been studying C++ because I've been getting into a bit of programming. I think it's good to try to learn something. Or even Hayat Foxy. Dear Foxy, if you want to borrow from a Syrian. Oh, I remember CSS. Shudders. Yeah, so far, it's a little complicated. Just, like... Well, actually, it's quite complicated. Not gonna sugarcoat it, it is quite complicated. But I have a little bit of knowledge to make some basic programmer jokes incredibly funny. And a couple of them make me kind of groan and put my head in my hands in sort of shared pain. Versus, the classic if else. Imagine you just have if-elses stacked inside each other ad infinitum. Emma says, having looked into it, I'm realizing that I remember almost zero C++. Ray says, if-else debuff / attack penalty. Very close to having Barret be level 31. Very close now. Soon. Soon, dear. Soon. Wahaha. Ray says soon, I will have my revenge. Ray says, and destroy that blasted hedgehog! Which is absolutely funny because I've not really played any of the Sonic games at all. I've always been an outsider to the Sonic fandom. Don't get me wrong, I think it's fun. It's just been one of those series that I've not really held much interest in. Barret is going to become level 31 as soon as I hit the button. And... ta-da! Ray says, were you more of a Nintendo girly then? I actually have more PlayStation. I immersed myself in games like Final Fantasy XII and X. And even then, I was rather limited in the games that I could play. Yep, I did not originally start out playing any of the earlier games. The very first one that I played through all the way was Final Fantasy XII. And it's one of those that I just have as, like, in a fond place in my heart. Because I just love the world, the art style, the characters, the voice acting. I really love the voice acting in 12. The young lordling, spirited away by Judge Gapranth. The young lordling, he went along to avoid trouble, you see, but Judge Gapranth had... well, not Gapranth. But Judge Bergen had other ideas. He flew into a rage and I was left to fend for myself. Ray says, where should a beginner to Final Fantasy start, in your opinion? In my opinion? Since the games are an anthology series with no connected story, I think that the very first one that you should start with would probably be Final Fantasy X. It has a turn-based battle system, it has a very clear set of tutorials, and you probably won't get too terribly lost. After that, I definitely recommend playing Final Fantasy VII. For the hype. Final Fantasy VI, I definitely recommend for the story, and for the soundtrack, and for everything. And then, beyond that, you can just hop to whichever Final Fantasies catch your interest. I definitely recommend staying a little bit away from Final Fantasy VIII, just a little bit, because it has a very odd magic system from what I heard. Final Fantasy XII just has a huge place in my heart, as I've said so many times before. And one of the things that I remember is getting on the Strahl for the very first time. You don't actually get to, like, walk aboard the ship so much as you just select it and then you fly to wherever you can on the map. And yet, it has just one of the most beautiful first animations that you'll see in the game. If you play the original PlayStation 2 version, the Strahl is legitimately the first thing that you see beyond clouds. You visit many places with that ship. The floating sky city of Bujerba, flying across the desert. You go places. It's one of the bigger open worlds. And its combat system is unique and, in my opinion, incredibly addicting. I used a variety of methods, all went according to plan until it came time to request withdrawal of our most devoted generals. In their enthusiasm for war, our great military leaders went behind my back straight to Hunter's resistance. During training, a division of the resistance ignored their orders and disappeared. They were next found exchanging broadsides with the Imperials over Old Nabladia. You misunderstand. That was most likely a Rosarian division. They most likely joined as patriots or freedom fighters, but make no mistake, they are indeed an arm of the Rosarian army. The Fifth Column has engaged the Imperials and provoked a response. His Excellency the Marquis, unwilling to leave them abandoned, was obliged to give his main fleet the order to attack, and the battleground is Dalmasca. Vane has advantages enough. He stands on higher ground, and my birds tell me he has awoken something quite large. Bahamut, Lord of the Sky. As you can tell, big fan. Ray says, your accents are really good. Practice a lot, huh? Yes, indeed, I do. There's like a wealth of accents in Final Fantasy XII's repertoire. Don't talk such nonsense. Fossler's laughed in the face of death far too many times for him to stop now. Men like him don't die in places like this. Mostly just doing quotes because, yeah. You have grown very thin, Bosch. Less than a shadow, less than a man. Sentenced to death and yet you live? Why? To silence Ondor. How many times must I say it? Is that all? Why don't you ask Fane, isn't he one of your masters? And then, of course, there's, like, some of the final antagonists of the game, which have incredibly amazing acts. Like, it's just... it's hard to pick a favorite, because they're all so good. Let's see, and I'm mostly just doing the quotes that I remember off of the top of my head, which means there's bound to be inconsistencies. My counsel did but guide your able hand. Yes, so much accomplished in 6 fleeting years. Indeed, what claim does Garen have on history's reins? Seated on throne immortal, rent from time. For your ascendance, Fane, I offer prayer. May you attain all that which is your due. Attain it I shall. For too long have my deeds gone unrewarded. Oh, and there's of course one of my favorite lines from one Judge Geese. His name is spelled G-H-I-S, and it is pronounced Geese. Yes, it is as silly as you can imagine. Let us take him for the people of Dalmasca. Your Majesty wallows in indecision on peril of their heads. And his shall be the first to fall. Well, at least your sword is to the point. Untitled Geese Simulator. G-H-I-S. It is a wonderful day in Dalmasca, and you are a horrible judge. Hey. One of the reasons why I don't recommend Final Fantasy XII to new players is because it is just so very different from other Final Fantasy games. It doesn't have a turn-based battle system. It plays very much like an MMO would. And its story isn't lighthearted in places as much as it is very much a political story. It is a story not of you necessarily saving the world, but getting caught up in tangled political intrigue. You originally start out the game as a commoner, a thief, by the name of Vaughn. And you see a lot of Evilise through his eyes. And in a lot of ways, people have stated that characters such as Bosch von Ronsenberg or Princess Ashelia Benargan Dalmasca should be the main characters because Bosch is a knight who fell into disgrace and imprisonment because he supposedly killed the king of Dalmasca. And Princess Ashe is trying to reclaim her throne because Dalmasca is under siege. The Imperials have taken the city. And so your entire quest, along with a couple of really, really fun Sky Pirate characters and Vaughn's childhood friend, you are just off, wandering Evilise, going from one lead to the next to the next. And it's fun. It's incredibly fun for me, but it's also incredibly complicated and not really a story for new players to the series. Worried I'm out for the Nethicite. Can't say I'm unaccustomed to people doubting my intentions. Nothing could be further from my mind. Should I swear on your sword or some such? Apologies, but I needed to know where you stand. Her Majesty depends on you, and you seem to have an interest in the stone. I'm only interested to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same. Yes, Balthier is self-styled as the leading man of the story, and he is just an incredibly suave Sky Pirate. Oh, hello, Brian. Welcome. You know, I do hope we get a part 2 to the audio you just posted a little while ago. Believe it or not, it's already recorded. Not just pirates, Ray. Sky Pirates. The Strahl is Balthier's airship. Normally, I would avoid spoilers, but this is a game that was released almost 20 years ago. It's kind of like some of the spoilers that come from Final Fantasy VII. Unless you're incredibly lucky or choose to steer clear of them, you know some of the bigger things. Yep, it was released in around September, I think, of 2006. Let me see. Oh, it was March 16th, 2006. For the PlayStation 2. It was, I think, the last Final Fantasy developed for the PlayStation 2. A Judge Magister there was. 2 years passed since he took in his hand the Midlight Shard stolen from the Bradia and used it not knowing what he did, and Nabudis was blown away. Cid ordered this of him to learn the Nethicite's true power. That man swore never to let such terrible power be used again. He forsook his Judicer's plate and his name. Mary says, 1997 Final Fantasy VII and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. 2 of the best RPGs ever made. Ray says, fuck, gotta get into Castlevania. So many games I gotta check out. The list grows ever more. Indeed. Hello, Wolf. Very good to see you. Good to see you again. Nick says, gone so, of course, to what my night was going to be originally. Ray says, it fucking windy outside. Windy. Well, I do think that will be it for me tonight, though. Thank you so very much for stopping by, though. I really, truly appreciate it. And thank you so very much for allowing me to quote endlessly from my list of, like, internal Final Fantasy XII quotes that I keep as a library, along with several GLaDOS quotes from from Portal 2. Gosh, I don't say 2. Then, gosh. Thanks, Emma. Bryce says, thank you for streaming, Fox. It's been a blast hanging out and chat. I look forward to seeing you next week then. Wednesday, 6 o'clock, Mountain Standard Time. Don't miss it. And Wolf asks, do I like riddles? I kind of like riddles. I'm not particularly bright, and oftentimes I don't know if I can solve them, but I like riddles. Ray says, of course. Always good to hear you gush about what you love. I'll be there. One way or another. One way or another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way or another. Well, I am about to close out the stream, Wolf, so... Okay, 1. Wolf says, what belongs to you, but others use it? What belongs to me, but others use it? Gosh, that's a hard one. My brain is thinking that it's my time or my company, but I don't know. Emma says your credit card information. So what do you think? So it's not that. Gosh, I'm not gonna resort to looking up the answer to that one. That's cheating. Gosh, it belongs to me, but others use it. And it's not my time, and it's not my companionship. What is it? My heart? That doesn't sound right to me, but it could be that. Could be the heart. No, it's not. Dang it. My patience? I don't know. Am I thinking too abstract? Is it like a physical thing? What's that a no to? Is it a no to it being a concept? Or no to it being a physical thing? I don't know what those mean. Okay, if it's a concept, like my love or my companionship, or if it's something physical, like a physical part of my body or within my possession as a physical item. I got nothing. So it is a concept. No, it isn't a concept. It was a no to the first one. Is that what it means? I'm getting myself all turned around. And this is where I will debunk that I am a clever fox. I'm not that clever, because I'm stumped by this riddle. Yeah, I give up. I'm sorry. I don't know. Because every time I leap to the conceptual, it's like my time or companionship, and if it jumps to, like, a physical thing, it's probably my time or my money or your name. I had to lean back. I'm not that smart. It's so clever. It's so clever. Thanks, Wolf. Maybe next time round you can give me another riddle, and hopefully I'll be able to solve it. Nemesis cannot be outfoxed. But anyways, thank you so very much. Please make sure you drink some water. Do we need to have this conversation again? I don't think we do. Drink some water. Do it. Thank you. Anyways, I'll see you next week. And I hope you enjoy the very next upload. Bye!